Hello guys, welcome back. In today's video we are working on the UI, but before we start working on the UI we need to fix a few things that I missed in the previous video. Go ahead to open the file, use tic-tac-toe game. Here we need to change this name. Basically this name have to match the names that we define in our backend, but the fix is pretty simple. We need just to change this to this and the same here. And yeah, if we don't match this as we have in the backend, probably the game won't work, right? So that's that. And now let's start working on our front end. So I will copy these styles that we will use across the mobile application and the UI. So let me copy this and basically this, right? So now we are set and good to go. And the first thing I will start working on will be the cells, right? And the cell basically, this is the smallest building block of the game, a simple cell in the tic-tac-toe board, right? So it doesn't know anything about multiplayer or game rules, basically. So first we need to define an interface, right? So we're gonna call, I don't need this. So basically we need the props for the cells, and the first things that we need to include in these props will be the value, right? And the value will be of type cells. We define all of these already, right? Let me fix this, and yeah, that should be good to go. And then we need to add disable, and it will be a boolean, right? And then we need unpressed, right? And it will be void, right? It's not returning anything. So now that we have the props, we need to define a function, right? I'm gonna call it const. I think a good name would be cell, right? I'm gonna call it cell, and then it will be an arrow function, and it will be, yeah, just like this, and then like this, and then props, yes, and then we are gonna export that, right? We're gonna export it, and then here we're gonna write all our code for our cell, right, that we will use in our board, basically. So now what we need to do is define a touch opacity, or we need to return, right? First of all, return, and then we are gonna basically utilize touchable opacity. And touch opacity is this it's a component that already comes from React Native, right? We don't need to do anything else. And then in here we're going to define our cell, right? But before doing so, we need to pass some props here in our touch opacity. The first one will be the onPress, and this one will come from the props. And then we need to define disable, and the same, right? This will come from our props. And then we need to give it some style, right? And before doing the styles, we are going to do that. We are gonna use the active opacity, right? And that this active opacity, it's the opacity that you will see when you tap on the cell, basically. And we are gonna use a 0.8, and then now we need that style, right? And the styles, we already copied the styles, and those are in this file, right? So the style that we will use here will be the cell style, right? Styles, the cell, and basically we need to import this in this document. And yep, it's just like this, and this style, it should be right here somewhere, right? That's what we need, right? And in this, in the touch opacity, we need to basically utilize a view, right? And here we need to import this from React Native, and then we need a text too over here, and this text we need to import it too, and we need to add some style to this view as well. And it's gonna be the inner styles, the cell inner, right? And here we're gonna add some style as well, but let me add a style. So it's gonna be the value, but the value can be empty as well if it is undefined, right? So we are gonna write it like this. And now we need to add some style here, right? So we're gonna, let me add this first. And the first thing that we need to do, it's an array, because an array, in the style, the array, you can add multiple style, right? Depending on a condition. The first one, it will be a text, a cell text, which should be here too. It's this one right here. And then we are gonna write if in a statement, if a statement, right? Basically, our ternary operator, a ternary, right? So if the value is an x, then we are gonna use we're gonna return styles the cell text x, right? And then we are gonna write another one. If the value is a null, we're gonna write the text O, right? Then we're gonna write another one, else will be styles the cell text O, right? And then we're gonna write another one, styles the cell text empty, right? And basically that would be our style, right? Look like this, and that's our cell, right? So now that we define our cell, now we need to work on our board, right? So let's go there. We need to define an interface, and it will be the props again. And in these props, we are going to take the board, which will be of type value, of type cell value, and we need to import this as well. And let me fix this. And then now this will be of it will be an array, right? And now we need that if the user can play or not, right? Let me add that here, and it will be a boolean, right? And then we need to pass basically on press cell, right? On press cell, and basically this will take an index as a parameter, and the index will be of type number, basically, right? And that's the props that we need for this. We need to define a function, and we're going to export this because we're going to use it somewhere else, right? So I'm going to define it as a board, and then it will have, we are going to have the props as parameters, and then in here we are going to use those props, and then we need to return, it's going to be a view, and then we need to import this, and we're going to add the styles for this view as well, and we have all these style here, right? So we don't need to do anything. So let me and I copy the styles because that way we don't waste too much time, right? But if you want me to go over the style, let me know in the comments, and I'll be happy to talk about all the styles here. But now we need to add the styles for this, and let me import this, which is gonna come from here. And what we need here, it's the board shell, right? Basically, styles the board shell, basically. And then inside this this view, we need another one, and then we need a style, of course, for this one as well. And this gonna be the board. We need to map through the board, basically. So this, we need to map through these props, right? Which is the board, basically. And then let me map through that, and it's gonna be the cell. Let me map through it, board that map, and then it will be the cell and the index, right? And we need an arrow function here, and then we're going to return the cell that we just created, right? The component that we just created, which is this one right here, right? And we're going to pass all these values, right? The key, the value, the unpressed, and disable. We need to add another condition when the cell is null, basically. In the next video, we are going to work on the game header and the rematch button, right? So thank you for watching. See you in the next time.